Right, guys, how's it going? It is Wednesday, the 16th of September 2020, and you're watching KopTalk.tv. All right, so Paul Merson. I think the minute I mention his name, a lot of you go, who cares what he's got to say? Fucking knobhead. I used to think Paul Merson was a knob. I really did until I met him. And when I met him and spent time with him, I came to the conclusion that you should never judge people until you've met them. And you shouldn't go off what other people say when people go, he's this, she's that. Make your own fucking minds up in life. And don't just judge someone by what you see on a television screen. True, because I tell you what, if ever I got it wrong about someone, it was with Paul Merson, because he's a fucking top guy. If you don't like him, that's fine. I ain't got a problem with that. Maybe you've met him and he was an utter cunt. Possible, but he was alright with me. And that doesn't mean, however, that everything he says should be paid attention to. However, this is a football-related channel, and we're talking about Liverpool Football Club, and we're going to look for things to discuss. And one of the things Paul Merson said was, you look at the goals Liverpool let in against Leeds, wow. I just think they turned up and thought they'd wipe the floor with Leeds. I think they need to buy someone. It wouldn't surprise me if they finished 4th this season. And I thought that before this game. I keep saying it, there's a famous fast food chain that used to sell more chips and burgers than anyone. Yeah, you know you. They still did adverts. You spend to stay at the top. And he also said, and it's not included in the quotes on my screen, he also said, you know, he drew comparisons to Manchester City and said, look how, you know, they win the league and they still make their squad stronger. They don't win the league and go, done it, that's it, we don't need to do anything, we've got a good enough squad to continue. They continue to evolve, etc. Where the suggestion is that Liverpool, so far, are not really doing that. And he says, I think they need to buy someone. That's good. I just wonder what you thought about the comment about finishing 4th this season. Now, if you go back a few months, you know, when football was, I don't know if it was before, I think it was around the time football got suspended because of the COVID. And I'll be honest with you, I said to you, let's see what happens in the summer, but if we don't spend well, that doesn't mean spend hundreds of millions. If we don't strengthen, is probably a better word, in the summer, and we just become complacent, then we might be in for a shock next season. That's what I said, right? Because I thought towards the end, just before the football got suspended, in the run up to winning the league or whatever you like, I thought Liverpool were becoming a bit complacent with the performances, and I said I didn't want us to become complacent, you know, in the boardroom as well or in the management as well in the summer, because we won the Champions League last year, and I thought we'd go on and prove a point in the summer that we were European champions, and we didn't. And at the time, people were like, what's fucking wrong with you, fat cunt? We've just won the Champions League. It's like, yeah, but I want to win it again. And we didn't win it again. So this summer, I thought we really had to make some changes. I really do, guys. You can turn around and say, well, we won the league with that team. Fair enough. But if you don't think that Manchester City are going to be gunning for us this year, and we've seen our rivals, you know, make significant progress despite the COVID, etc. So I always thought in the back of my head, I didn't really want to say it, I just thought, if we don't use our noddle this summer, I could see us dropping off a little bit. That's just all I thought. I don't know if that's going to happen because the window's still open. You know, we've had one signing. We've probably signed about 300 kids as well for the secondary market. But there's still time. You know, maybe Thiago will come. Who knows? Will we go for him the last week of the season? Window, I think we will. Now, I did a video about that on here today. So when he says Liverpool might not finish top 4, it wouldn't surprise me if they finish 4th this season. Sorry, is what he said. I want to pull him up and say, don't talk so fucking ridiculous. But there is also a part of me that's like, you shouldn't just by default these days as a Liverpool fan think, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It wouldn't surprise me if we finish 2nd. But I also think we can win it. But I just know that the likes of Man City, you know, Pep Guardiola is going to be gunning for us. He's got a point to prove, guys, hasn't he? You know, who was it that said Arsenal would win the league? I think it was David James. I think he said that that Arsenal would win the league. I don't think that's going to happen. So, what do you think with those comments? I'd like to know what Tomo's got to say, but Tomo's not on Sky Sports anymore because his face don't fit. Fucking hell. What about me? Will they do that with me? Will I get pushed out of my own fucking YouTube channel? Have a tart sat here? Split arse? Something like that? Will they? Shall I black up? I can't black up, can it? You're not allowed to black up, are you? It's not acceptable. Not what? It's not acceptable. Alright, fair enough. But if I want to go to a fancy dress party as Eddie Murphy or something like that, how the fuck do I do it then? Am I not allowed to go to a fancy dress party as... Leave it. Okay, leave it. Alright. Can't say fucking now today, you know. You can't say nothing. There'll be people having a go at me for my fucking t-shirt. They'll be going, you realise how many people he's responsible for fucking... Oh, you can't have a fucking giggle anymore. Oh, no, you can't have a fucking giggle. Fat lives matter. What the fuck are we talking about? Paul Merson, what do you think, guys? I think you'll all go along with the suggestion that Liverpool need to strengthen. I think that you won't want Liverpool to be complacent. I think you will be in the majority when you say that in the comments. I think a lot of people will be like, fuck what Paul Merson's got to do. Fourth. Do you think Liverpool could drop to fourth this season? There's the question. Could Liverpool drop to fourth? Don't reply and go, well, cast they could come first, second, third, or fourth. Don't mean that, but I mean, like, realistically, could Liverpool finish fourth? I mean, even I don't fucking believe that, really. I don't. I was sort of like saying, like, you know, if we don't get together, you know, our heads together and invest, then we might just fall down a little bit. Like, second, maybe. Third. It could be a fucking disaster. I just had a bad feeling. I had a bad feeling a few months ago. That's it. I don't give a fuck. That's what I thought. We'll see. When I read that, I just thought, well, there's Paul Merson saying something that I thought, you know. Anyway, let me know what you think. Don't fucking have a go at me. Start caps locking me to death and all that. Let me know what you think. Saying could Liverpool finish fourth is like, well, yeah, of course they could. But they could finish third, second, or third. How do I ask the question then? Fucking more Facebook fucking messages. How do I ask the question? Will Liverpool win the league? I don't know how to ask the question. Will Liverpool win the league? Are we not going to be as good as last year? How confident are you? How do you feel about it? Are you waiting till the window closes? Surely you wait until the transfer window closes. But based on today, if there's no changes, if we don't bring anyone else in, how do you feel? Do you think, ooh, what do you reckon? Let me know what you think, guys. I'll speak to you in a bit.